the landscape for the educational environment continues to change, and we move more and more towards a digital curriculum, there are an abundance of companies that are fighting for our attention in an effort to get into our classrooms. Whether they be hardware, software, or just online companies, they all want to be a part of our curriculum. So how do we cut through all of that and get right down to what's best for our students? Hi, my name is Jamie Benedict, and welcome to the Digital Classroom. Today we're going to take a look at a learning management system, and we're going to look at it by comparing 4 elements. Diane Schofhauser wrote an article where she actually compared 4 elements for a learning management system. One was the social interface, looking at how much of a social media type does the platform set up, the collaboration or being able to work with others through the program, assessments and analytics, and she looked at the room for growth for digital learning. To do this, we're going to compare 3 programs: Edmodo, Google Classroom, and Canvas. To make our comparisons, we're going to pull from my personal knowledge of being able to use these programs in my classroom with my students, as well as look at Scott Winstead, a 20-year e-learning veteran and technology geek who has written an article that looks at the comparison of Edmodo and Google Classroom. And we're going to combine that with the Schofhauser article and the 4 elements that need to go into your learning management system as we put together a report card for each program. Let's start our comparison by looking at Edmodo. From a social interface standpoint, Edmodo looked a lot like Facebook. It fit in with social networking. Teachers and students both found it easy to use, so I'm going to go ahead and give that an A-. From a collaboration standpoint, for teachers it was great because there were a lot of teacher networks set up. For students it wasn't as great. There was no messaging back and forth and not as easy to set up groups in there. I'm going to give them a C+ on this one. From assessments and analytics, there were interactive quizzes, so I'm going to give it a B, but there was a lot more that they could do for being able to work with teachers on this. And then finally, from a digital learning perspective, I thought there was so much more that Edmodo could have done to connect with either Khan Academy or YouTube or TeacherTube or any of those programs, Discovery Network, that would have made their digital learning capabilities a lot greater. I'm going to go ahead and give them a D for that. Now let's take a look at Google Classroom. From a social interface standpoint, everything that posted to Google Classroom was run through a stream feed, so everything just kept scrolling down as you added more information. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B. From a collaboration standpoint, being that it was Google, I expected a lot more. Very poor online interaction, no direct connection to Google Hangouts or the Google Suites, so I'm going to give that one a D. For assessment and analytics, they had a variety of quiz formats, a little bit better as far as the analytics than Edmodo was. I'm going to give that a B also. And then finally, from a digital learning perspective, because it's Google, they did have access to Google Suites. It just wasn't linked directly to that, but they could easily incorporate that. And I think the capabilities are there, so I'm going to go ahead and give that an A. Finally, let's take a look at Canvas. From a social interface standpoint, Canvas has discussion boards, which is a great feature. I like it, and I'm going to give that an A-. I'm not sure how the students feel quite about it yet, so we're going to keep that grade at an A-. From a collaboration standpoint, Canvas is great for being able to form groups, either self-created by the students or teacher-created, and it does connect directly to the Google Suite where they can share documents, and there's a lot of great features there. The assessment and analytics, I think, are far superior to what we've seen with Classroom and Edmodo. For one, it connects directly to ExamView very easily, and so that's really nice. But there are a variety of quiz formats, and the data, it comes back very quickly. And of course, you can get a lot of the information that you're looking for as far as learning goes. And then finally, from digital learning, this is by far the most advanced program of the 3 that we compared here. And a lot of that has to do with just linking to external sites, Khan Academy, YouTube, Discovery Network, to name a few. But there's a lot of connections that Canvas has made there. So I'm going to give them an A for their digital learning capability. So what do we need to look for when choosing a learning management system? Well, Christoforos Pappas suggested that we have 5 things that we need to look at. One is we need to look at our goals and needs. And we also want to develop a list of the key features that help meet those goals and needs. I would suggest that you include teachers and students in this discussion, and maybe even bring parents in to that discussion. You also want to consider your technical limitations, that of the teachers and the students. What are their capabilities? And then the level of support that's going to be needed in order to accommodate that. And that's going to be right out of your own school. And then finally, focus on your future needs and what do you project 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years down the road. Thank you guys for joining me in the digital classroom today. For now, class is dismissed.